The 18th edition of the Tour of Britain was to start in Scotland before wending its way through the British countryside, Scotland borders, through to the northeast, then down into Yorkshire, through the Midlands, back down into Gloucestershire, and then into the south, then onto the Isle of Wight to the Needles. A hilltop start and a hilltop finish for this year's race. With stage one, had started in Aberdeen, the end of last year's race, and finished in Glenshee at the ski centre. Essentially a hilltop finish, an unusual start to the race and a challenging course ahead for the riders. Lots of rain and wind, very difficult conditions for the opening stage. A damp start in Aberdeen and a breakaway went away very early on. The bunch being led for the vast majority of the day by the Ineos Grenadiers and the Israel Premier Tech team. We had 5 riders out in front: Matt Gibson and Stephen Bassett from Human Powered Health, Jacob Scott and Matthew Teggart from With Sungod, and also Martin Urenstad of the Uno X Pro Cycling team. But early on there was a nasty spill, and that was Matt Gibson, who came down on a bend. Thankfully he was straight back up and on his bike without losing too much time at all. Even had time to get his sunglasses. Meanwhile, the peloton was being led by the Ineos Grenadiers. In particular, it was Andre Amador doing a lot of pulling on the front, and also for the Israel Premier Tech team, Reto Hollenstein. But meanwhile, there was sprints underway, and it was Matthew Teggart who actually took all of the intermediate sprints on the day, whilst it was Stephen Bassett of the Human Powered Health team who took all the King of the Mountains. But meanwhile, the breakaway, after enjoying a lead of well over 5 minutes, with 5.5 kilometres to go, it was reduced to just over a minute. And then Alex Dowsett hit the front, the former British TT champion and world hour record holder, making the difference. But with the headwind finish, it was going to be chaotic. Coming into the closing stages of the day, the breakaway fractured, leaving only 3 riders out in front. But then it was Richie Porte. The first time he rode the Tour of Britain was way back in 2010. The last year of professional racing for the Tasmanian. He led them through into the final kilometre. Still a sizable peloton heading into the closing metres of the opening stage. It was the young American Magnus Sheffield who opened things up for the Ineos Grenadiers, sending things up for Omar Freile. And then the former Spanish road champion checked the gap, opened up his sprint. He did not expect this to happen. Corbin Strong, the New Zealander, straight in his slipstream, came round the Spanish rider with 15 metres to go to score the biggest win of his career and an important victory for the Israel Premier Tech team. And that win was to take him into the lead of the race, and he was absolutely delighted. Sporting congratulations from Freile, but what a win by the 22-year-old. Congratulations all round there from Dylan Tierns and from Mike Woods. What a day for this young man. He couldn't quite believe it. Slow motion replay shows the power and the style of this young man. Perfectly timed sprint there. Nothing anybody could do about it. So Corbin Strong took the stage ahead of Omar Freile, Anders Johansson in third. Then we had Serrano, Pidcock, Tierns, Fiorelli, Onley, Charming and Zana. On the general classification heading into stage 2 was Corbin Strong in the red jersey ahead of Omar Freile, 4 seconds behind, and 6 seconds behind Anders Halland Johansson.